Hello and welcome to another Raggy's beer review from a little bit later in the evening down at the beer room. Literally about 9:15. The wife's watching Corrie on bloody +1. Son's been watching Tropicale all evening. And what do I get to watch? Yeah. So anyway, new in Aldi, it's their Tropicale. It's a hop Foundry brewed in partnership with Freedom Brewery. So what we take from this, it's actually Freedom Brewery brewing it for Aldi. I'm glad there's honesty these days and we know who's brewing the beer. Freedom Brewery, good brewery out of Stone in Staffordshire. So, this is a pale ale, 4%. Says on the back, first quenching pale ale with refreshing tropical notes. So we'll get into it and see how it cooks. So what we see is a golden pour, a little bit of subtle carbonation going off. Let's always remember that depending on the glass, you're going to see carbonation on some glasses and you're not going to see it on other glasses. It depends on the widgets on the bottom of the glass, and it also depends on the beer, obviously. There's about 4 mils rather of a fluffy white head on the top. Let's dive in. Let's see what it's like. Yeah, very subtle tropical nose, very subtle. And again, a very subtle, somewhat tropical taste on this. Now let's remember, with craft beers, or beers that come in cans, that maybe aren't craft beers, but look like craft beers, that when you pay £8 for a beer, generally speaking, that there's going to be a lot more go into that beer for the £8 to make it, to make it worth the money that you're spending, ingredient wise. And also, when I know this with friends who brew beer, imperial stouts that are 10 and 11%, duty comes into the equation, but also the ingredients come into the equation. There's a lot more that comes in. So beer brewed for a cheaper price generally has less ingredients and whatnot than something that's not. I mean, I can't give you the details, but in general, when we look at craft beer breweries across the UK, that what's on sale for £1.60 isn't going to be the same as something that's on sale for £6. Not always, at least. There are exceptions to all equations. So let's let the air get to the beer. Yeah, it's an easy drinking. It wouldn't be, if it was a trad beer, and it could well be a trad beer, because it is quite subtle. Is it meant to be subtle? I've no idea. Don't know that side of things. I mean, let's be fair. The majority of drinkers in this country drink trad beer anyway, or cask beer, trad cask. I can smell rum and raisin. I've had some rum and raisin essence, and literally, it's all you can smell in here. Wow, it's all I can smell in the kitchen as well. I've done a rum and raisin in double chocolate stout, and I put it into barrel. And since I've cracked open the essence bottle and poured it in, all I can smell is rum and raisin everywhere. Because it was in here originally. Wow. So let's look at the price, what you're paying for. But you got to remember is what you're paying for. You're not paying for something that is a big price. What you'd expect from your cloud waters and so on and so forth. Like I say, Freedom Brewery, good brewery, based in Stone in Staffordshire. And for me, looking at it just as the beer for what you pay, it's a nice, easy drinking, subtle tropical beer. More of a trad beer than the craft, in my opinion, but it's an easy drinking beer. Certainly tastes all right. It's not twice as nice. Is that still on sale? And has it got any better? And obviously, some of the supermarket beers, if they're contract brewed, obviously this is brewed by Freedom Brewery. They know what they're doing. Obviously, they're brewing it for a price to go into supermarkets. So you brew it for price. You're only going to put in certain ingredients because they've got to make a profit to survive. And obviously, if it's going into Aldi, then if they can get past certain things, then it's a way to stay alive. And they've done a lot of. I mean, I've literally got 6 or 7 beers that are from Freedom Brewery that come under the Hop Foundry name. So yeah, I mean, it's good for Aldi. It gets cheap beers on the shelves for them. Beers that look crafty. And it's an easy drinking. For me, it's a bridge. It's a cheap bridge between what is a trad beer and a craft beer. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to look at positivities. I'm not going to slag something down. I'm not into that anyway. That's not the person I am. Sensationalism. I can't be done with it. But yeah, well, that's the way I see it. We all see it in our own way, obviously, but that's the way I see it. Out of 5 for me, remembering the price as well, cost of living crisis. Not everyone can afford £9 or £10 beers. A lot of people are struggling like hell out there. Only just watched a story on TV that absolutely breaks my heart of an elderly woman aged 87 that was that scared to put her heating on. She died. Basically, the cold killed her, and that is frightening. In a country where people have worked all their lives and they can't afford to do it. And then you get some that, then you get the rich that don't pay. And then you get some that spout up, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. And yet, there's a lot of people that really are struggling. It breaks my heart. It does. I mean, we've had to turn our heating down this winter massively compared to what we normally do. And at times it's like, bloody hell, jump and a fleece on. And it's like, this isn't normally what we do. And you work your backside off and you're struggling. And then everything's gone up in price. It's like, God, I hope all you bosses of all these companies are proud of themselves. Yeah. At the end of the day, when there's some sort of revolution, look what's happening in France. It only starts the trigger. There's a trigger point that will happen. And what happens when riots happen? Although fair play, we don't want riots because then the people that get harmed are the people with businesses. They get wiped out because some twat's gone and burnt the business down. Yeah, frightening. So for me, definitely a bridge between trad and craft. Looks like a trad beer. Tastes more like a trad than what I would say is a full-on craft. But it's a nice enough beer, for the price. And for me, a good 4.0 out of 5. Yeah, it is what it is. Think about the money you pay. It's a nice tasting beer. In any case, some of them own bargains beers were a bit woeful. I mean, when a beer tastes wrong, that's when you've really got to worry. Delivers, does what it says on the tin. So there, cheers.